Am I the a-hole for dating my wife best friend after she left me? Wife 47F and I 45M are getting a divorce. She was thinking about divorce for 2 years and didn't bother to tell me that she was not happy. Never asked for therapy, never did anything to reconnect. She did talk to her friends, and her best friend 40F was the only one who told her she was doing wrong. Many of her friends who are divorced themselves kept egging her on about leaving me. She one day told me that she wasn't happy and she is done living for me and kids and she wants to live for herself. So we are getting a divorce. What was I even supposed to do? She also cut off her best friend because she wasn't supportive of her. For context, her best friend is a widow. So she tried to tell her that she is throwing away something that was taken away from her. She told me everything and apologized for not telling me sooner so my wife and I could have fixed things before it was too late. From that point, we go closer and closer. Now we are dating each other. My wife went ballistic on me when she found out, and I just told her that she left a vacancy. Why does she care who fills it when she herself doesn't want it? She is still seething at me. That's because you were supposed to pine for her and crumble while she lived her best life. She dropped the friend for telling her the truth and dropped her husband to go be single. You guys were supposed to live your crap, boring lives while she thrived. She never anticipated or thought of your happiness. That's why she was so shocked. The thing is, whenever someone does that, they have like a cool couple months of freedom and then realize what they lost. She's going to get bitter fast. Not the a-hole, especially because the wife cut off her best friend beforehand. Good luck to you and your new lady friend. Next story. Am I the a-hole? I am not allowing my daughter to wear her late mom's wedding dress even though I let my other daughter wear it? I will try to be as clear as possible. I have 4 kids. This is about my middle child, Abby, fake name. Abby was an addict. She went off to college and came back in the first semester an addict. Soon after, she dropped from college and got much worse. My late wife and I tried to get her into rehab, but she would just run the first day. Her relationship with the rest of the family deteriorated very quickly. She was soon kicked out of our homes permanently when she was 20. My wife soon got cancer and we stopped giving money altogether to Abby because it needed to go to the treatment. Abby broke into our home and ransacked it. This included heirloom pieces that were passed on from my wife's mother. She also left our doors open and our 2 cats escaped. We never found them. This broke my wife, and she started to go downhill after. My wife made it clear that Abby has gotten her inheritance already and that she wants nothing else to go to her. She was very clear not to allow her to have anything else or borrow anything. My wife passed and Abby didn't even come to the funeral. Abby is now 26 and has been clean for a year. She is planning on getting married next year. She called me and asked if she could use mom's wedding dress, and I told her no. This started an argument about how it's unfair because my oldest daughter did wear it last year. Abby was not invited to the wedding. She claims it is unfair and that she was her mother too. I informed her she already got many things from her mother and pawned them off for money. I need an outside opinion. I can't go to my family bickways. Everyone has strong opinions about Abby. Tell her exactly what her mom said about not wanting her to have or borrow anything. Tell her that sobriety includes making amends/facing and accepting consequences from her past actions. Be very clear that you will follow your wife's wishes precisely, that you are glad that she is clean, you hope she continues with her sobriety, and that you will not shield her from the consequences of her past actions. Not the a-hole. What has she done to earn back any form of trust? Yes, she's sober, but sobriety doesn't mean your relationship goes back to how it was. She robbed you, straight up. She stole several items with huge sentimental value from her mother. Why trust her with one of the few things you have left to share with her siblings? Don't let her have the dress. I doubt she would do anything to it. I don't believe her to be evil, but it's the principle. She doesn't deserve to wear something of such importance to your family. Opie replies, she did send out apology letters. I don't know how to feel about mine since it wasn't the best apology. I am low contact and see her like every 6 months, so I am trying to build up a relationship again, but it is hard. I don't trust her at all. If she wasn't my kid, I 100% would not speak to her again. Next story. Am I the a-hole for laughing in my sister-in-law's face when she DNA tested my daughter? I, 30M, have a daughter who's 6. I am not biologically related to her at all. There is no blood relation between us. I was friends with her mother for most all of my childhood. We were never involved romantically and were always just friends. She had her daughter at 23 with her 25-year-old husband. When my daughter was a newborn about 3 months, technically both her mother and father were killed. I won't go into too much detail for privacy reasons, but it was workplace shooting. My friend and her husband had worked in the same building and were both killed. Both my friend and her husband had grown up with less than ideal families and didn't have any siblings, so there wasn't any next of kin for their daughter to go to. However, because I was close with them, I was able to adopt her. Even though I had been iffy about the idea of kids, I didn't want their daughter to grow up in foster care or around people who didn't have a connection to her bio parents, so I stepped in. My parents and siblings know that my daughter is not my actual daughter biologically speaking. My daughter, I'll call Lily for the post, also knows that she's adopted. I never really hid the fact that she was adopted. She knows her parents are dead and were killed by a bad man, but I'm saving the details for when she's older. Lily does not look like me at all. She looks exactly like her mother and biological dad. Most people assume that I'm her bio dad and that she just took after her mom. I don't ever really correct this when and if people assume this because it just seems unnecessary. My brother has been with his fiancée for about 2 years now. A few weeks ago, we were all meeting up at my parents' house and my sister-in-law saw an old picture of me, my friend, and her husband. She pointed to my friend and asked who she was, and I explained that was Lily's mother. Sister-in-law got quiet and stood in front of the picture for a while. I didn't think much of it. To clarify, she knows my friend died, but I guess didn't know that she had been married or that Lily is not my bio daughter. I suppose she assumed my daughter was mine and my friend's biological daughter. My sister-in-law got a DNA test done on my daughter behind my back. She used my brother's DNA for the test, and when it came back that they weren't related, she knew that meant me and Lily weren't related. She came up to me with the results and waved them in my face, saying that I was taking care of a dead woman's affair baby. She said this to me in front of my daughter. I just stared at her for a while before bursting out laughing at this. I told her I knew Lily wasn't my biological daughter and that this thing called adoption exists. Her face went red and she stormed off. My brother is mad I embarrassed his fiancée, but I said she embarrassed herself by DNA testing a kid that isn't hers and then parading the results up to me. What did she want me to do? What was her goal with this? Did she want me to break down and abandon my daughter? My brother said she thought she was doing the right thing and called me an a-hole. I don't feel like the a-hole, especially considering my sister-in-law was the one who stuck her nose where it doesn't belong. I'm asking for Reddit opinions mostly just for validation. So was I the a-hole? Not the a-hole she wanted to stir some crap up. That's a hell of a lot of effort to help. Also, I'd be pissed about how she got Lily's DNA to do this. It didn't go the way she thought it would, so she got mad. Your brother is just trying to side with his soon-to-be wife. I need to add this. She did this in front of your daughter to maximize the damage she thought she was exposing. That is straight evil. Update. TLDR/spoiler. My brother thought I had been having an affair with Lily's mom and thought I was Lily's bio dad. He tricked sister-in-law into believing that I was in a relationship with Lily's mom and was Lily's bio dad. Sister-in-law then saw the picture of Lily's mom and her husband and assumed Lily was an affair child between the two of them and was being led on to believe that I was Lily's bio dad. My sister-in-law ended up coming to my house and apologizing, as well as telling me the full story. My brother put her up to the DNA test. When I first adopted Lily, my brother for some reason believed that Lily was my bio daughter. He thought that me and Lily's mom were together and just weren't telling anyone. He believes that when she got pregnant, Lily's mom told me that Lily was mine and that she was going to just say that it was her husband's, and I went along with it because I didn't really want kids. Sister-in-law was under the impression I believed I was Lily's bio dad. She saw the picture of Lily's mom and I, and after asking for clarification on who she was, assumed we were together in it, and then got suspicious when she saw that the other guy in the picture, Lily's actual bio dad, looked a lot like Lily. I also want to clarify, I didn't tell her that Lily's bio dad was in the picture because she had specifically pointed to Lily's mom, and I assumed she knew that Lily was adopted. I didn't know my brother had been telling her lied for nearly 2 years. She got the DNA test out of her own suspicions, and my brother helped her with it because he thought it would reveal that I was actually Lily's bio dad. He manipulated her into thinking that it would clear the air of suspicion, when really he was just trying to prove that I was really Lily's bio dad and lying about the reasons for adoption. Well, of course the results proved I wasn't Lily's bio dad and that my brother was wrong. My brother felt too embarrassed to confess to his fiancée that he had lied about the circumstances, which is why sister-in-law confronted me with the results. My sister-in-law also apologized for showing me the results in front of my daughter. She told me that her mom had an affair and cheated on her father, got pregnant with another man's kid, and had let her father believe the kid was his. Her father was devastated by this when he found out, and she grew very resentful of women who do that to their spouses. She had wanted to sit me down and talk to me about it without my daughter, but when she saw me with my daughter, she got angry thinking I was being led on to believe I was raising my daughter when I was actually raising another man's kid. And she ended up exploding and immediately waved the results in my face. My sister-in-law does feel very guilty, and she's angry at my brother for lying to her. I'm not angry at her for doing the test, because she thought she was doing the right thing. I also forgave her for the way she told me about the results, because clearly affairs are a sensitive subject for her and I can understand why she would have exploded like that. I'm pretty sure she plans to break up with my brother now, and I don't blame her. When I called and asked my brother about this, he admitted it. When I asked why he would think this, he said that he couldn't think of a reason why a man who had been against having kids at the time would willingly adopt a baby without having a blood connection to it. He told sister-in-law that I was Lily's bio dad and was aware of the fact. He took it a step further and said that me and Lily's mom were together at the time of Lily's conception. Both me and my parents are going low contact with my brother for a while now. I know I will forgive my brother eventually, but I can't do that right now. He believed I was low enough to have an affair with a married woman, get her pregnant, take no responsibility, allow her to pass off the kid as another man's, and then only take responsibility because her mom died. Next story. Am I the a-hole for suing my cousin for $6,000 to pay for my hearing aids after he threw me in the pool? My family is all on my cousin's side for this issue, and I wanted some outside judgment. My cousin 25M has always been the golden child of our generation. He's funny, good-looking, and outgoing, not to mention a boy amongst girls. He's always loved to mess around and play pranks. For the record, I really dislike this cousin. I think he's irresponsible, childish, and annoying. I have had hearing problems for years. I recently got a $6,000 pair of hearing aids. Recently at my grandmother's birthday party, we were all eating and drinking on the back porch. My grandmother has a pool. My cousin decided he was going to throw me in the pool because it would be funny to ruin my hair that I just got done that day. I repeatedly told him to stop and put me down in a very serious and not playful at all tone. He threw me in the pool and my hearing aids were ruined. Afterwards, when I told him what happened, he basically said, "Whoops, didn't know you had hearing aids now." When I told him the cost of them and that he would have to replace them, he freaked out and said no way. My family didn't want me to make him pay for them because I significantly out-earn him and also everyone else in the family. He was in college at the time, barely making ends meet in a call center job. His girlfriend and him have a baby and they live in a one-bedroom apartment. He refused to pay, so I took him to court. I won. He refused to make the payments after, so I took him back to court and his wages are now being garnished for the maximum amount, which is 20% of his total wages. It pushed him over the edge of what he could afford, so he's had to work extra and drop out of college to be able to pay their rent. My family is absolutely fuming at me. I think he made one bad choice after the other, and he has never given a sincere apology during this whole ordeal. Had he gave a real apology after the incident and asked if he could wait till he finished school to pay me back, I would have been fine with it. But the entitled little prick is digging his feet in at every move. Am I the a-hole? The only reason I could see me maybe being the a-hole is because it's affecting his child and girlfriend. Not the a-hole. Where he effed up was not negotiating a payment plan with you that he could afford after he did it. A 20% garnish is a harsh way to learn his lesson, but he earned that lesson. So if he'd broken a wheelchair that someone needed to get around, he and the family would think it's okay not to replace it? Because it's hearing aids, equipment that you need to be able to hear and function in your day-to-day life, they think it's okay for him to just say whoops and get away with it. Not the a-hole, but your family is the worst. I can't believe they would enable him like that. If they all think it's so hard on him, why are they not all chipping in to pay off his debt? I'm sorry you have a family of selfish a-holes. Next story. Am I the a-hole for letting my kids loot my brother's house to prove my point? My brother and his family came for a visit last month. My kids and I play with Lego, and we have fun leaving little dioramas around my house. Just silly stuff like a fight between Iron Man and Darth Vader on the loot llama. It's just our way of leaving Easter eggs around the house. My nephew really liked them and decided to take a few home. When we noticed they were missing, I asked my brother to bring them back. He said that it was just kids being kids and that he would them back the next time we saw each other. I saw him for coffee and I reminded him beforehand that I wanted all our stuff back. He forgot to bring the toys. Okay, game on. We went over to his place for a barbecue. I told my kids that unless all our stuff was returned to us when we got there, literally anything in the house was fair game. Like the godless barbarians they are, they went to town. When we left, I don't think there were any remotes, small electronics, or beer mugs left at his house. I actually had to sneak the dog back into the house before we left. I started getting calls on our way home. I ignored them. When I got home, I returned his calls. He said a bunch of stuff was missing from his house. I said I would check with the kids. He said that I well knew what happened and that he wanted his crap back. I said I would box it up and return it the next time we saw each other, as long as we got our Lego back. He was at my house with my Lego later that evening. He had even accidentally included stuff that wasn't ours. I returned it and his stuff. I told him that this is how we would be dealing with his kid in the future. He is pissed off that he had to make a special trip to return my stuff. My parents think that there is a huge difference between an 8-year-old taking Lego minifigures and a couple of teenagers pillaging their uncle's house. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Wouldn't have to go that far if he just gave you your stuff back. I actually had to sneak the dog back into the house before we left. I laughed for the first time since my horse recently died reading this. Not the a-hole. AITA. I understand you think this was funny, but you can also have some sensitivity for my loss. Make jokes if you want, but please don't comment things like I was laughing when my horse died or murder etc. Just don't cross the line, please. So you were literally at his house and they didn't give the Legos his kids stole back to you? Unless your nephew is intellectually compromised in some way, 8 years old is absolutely old enough to know that stealing is wrong. Nicely played. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe to channel our posts.